Hi everyone, my name is Price Fallon and I'm the co-founder and chief product officer here at TeleVet. Today I'm going to do a quick demo of our app highlighting some of the key features and benefits of our service. First, I'd like to briefly explain what TeleVet does. We provide a telemedicine solution for veterinary clinics to offer their clients a mobile app where they can create virtual consultations to chat with their veterinary clinic through instant messaging, phone calls, and video calls. There's two types of virtual consultations done in our system. Client-submitted consultations, which are created by clients when their pet is having a health issue, and follow appointments, which are created by the veterinary practices themselves to check up on a pet's healing progress. I'll be covering both during this demo. The first thing I'd like to point out here is what's on our screen. So on the left side, you'll see a web app version of our veterinarian app. It's also available on iOS or Android devices, so you can use it on a mobile phone or tablet. And then on the right here, you'll see the iPhone emulator running the client app. So I'll get started over here on the client side. They'll sign up initially with an email and password, and then from that point, they'll be taken to the Add Pet page. So here we have a few prompts, just asking them some details about their pet. They select the type of pet, enter in a name for their pet, and then here they can associate a veterinary practice with their pet. So they can either look up clinics that use our service that are nearby them, or they can search for the practice by name. And so I'll go ahead and type in a name here. This will pull in search results. And here you can see the clinic name, logo, as well as the location here. So once they select that clinic, it'll be associated now with their pet's profile. They can add additional details like their pet's profile picture, gender, reproductive status, and environment, as well as breed, weight, and date of birth. Each pet that they add will be added here on the Pets tab. If they have multiple pets, they can swipe back and forth between the different pets. And then here at the top, we see the option to create a new consultation. So again, they'll be able to see your clinic logo and name, as well as your pricing and your hours shown. To get started, your clients click on the New Consultation button. This will take them into the consultation page and a little message here at the top saying, if this is an emergency, contact your veterinary hospital first before creating a consultation for an emergency. Below that, we have a few input fields. So summary is basically like a tweet where they can say this is what's going on and this is where it's happening. And then down the details, they can be a lot more descriptive and talk about their pet's behavior and how long this has been going on and so forth. Beyond that, they can also attach pictures and videos, which they can take right from our app or upload ones that they have previously have captured. And then down here at the bottom, we also have the ability for them to set the call preferences. And so if they're busy at work all day and they don't have time for a phone call or video call, they have the option to set that preference here. However, for there to be a video or phone call in the first place, that's up to the veterinary staff member to schedule one if it's needed. And so I'll go ahead and pre-fill this out with the consultation, and I'm going to attach a picture too, so we can see what that looks like. And so now the attachment has been attached. I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom, and here we see some more details about the consultation fee as well as payment. So again, we repeat that price here, and the way the pricing works is that the clinic has the ability to set their prices for incoming consultations. What we do is we add a $5 transaction fee on top of whatever price is set by the clinic, and we charge that to the client. And then with that $5 transaction fee, we cover all the credit card processing fees, the data and server storage and phone call and video call cost associated with that consultation. That way, whatever price the clinic sets is exactly what they'll receive once they resolve the consultation. We also pull in the credit card information if there's one saved to the account. Otherwise, we'll just ask them to add a credit card here. And the way the payment flow works is that when they create this consultation, what we're doing is pre-authorizing the amount shown here as the consultation fee on their debit or credit card. So if you're looking at your statement and you see a pending transaction, we're doing something very similar. And that transaction only gets pulled out of their debit or credit card account once the consultation is resolved, after which we transfer these funds over to the connected bank account for the practice. So I'll go ahead and click this Create Consultation button to get things going. And now that it's been submitted, they'll see a little message here letting them know. They'll also have a few other details here provided to them, letting them know that the hospital typically responds in 4 hours or less, and that they'll be notified as soon as someone from the hospital is responding to their consultation. So I'll click OK. And here we see the consultation page. So we have the same details, but it shows that it's awaiting review at this point in time. And so now at this point, everyone in the clinic will receive an email notification as well as a push notification letting them know that a new consultation was created. And so they can click on that link in the email, or they can go into the click on the push notification, and that'll open up right to the consultation. We also have in-app notifications, so if you ever No matter what device you're on, if you can always come up here and click on that to go straight to that consultation. However, I wanted to show you what it looks like getting there from the dashboard. So this is what you'd see when you log into the app for the first time, or also if you just open up the app and you're already logged in. So here we see a little bit of information about yourself, your clinic, as well as your team, and then how you've been doing this month with consultations. We can also look back at prior months to see how we've been doing here as well with consultations. And so you can track back by seeing how many follow-ups versus consultations you've been doing in the prior months, and then also see the revenue associated with that as well. You can also look at registration, so that's a great way to track how well your marketing messaging is going, to see if you've created a spike in registrations based on, for example, an email campaign or a Facebook campaign letting them know that the TeleVet service is available. And then down here in the bottom right, we see the new unassigned consultations. So these are all the ones that haven't yet been opened by a staff member. So here's the one we just submitted, so I'll click on that to check it out. You'll see over here on the left that the client and patient information is pulled in. We see the information about the pet, as well as the consultation details below that, and then down the bottom are the call preferences. And so here in the top right, we have the control panel. So here I have the option to assign this to myself. Right now I'm logged in as a veterinarian, so I can do that. We can also assign this to another staff member. So if we know that this person typically works with a different veterinarian, or we want to bring on a nurse to help triage the consultation, we can assign that person to the consultation from here. I'll go ahead and click assign to me so we can get going on it though. So it'll let me know it's been assigned. It'll also send a notification to the client letting them know that the consultation is now open, and it tells them who's working on it and what their role is at the practice. And so I'll go ahead and send a message to kick things off, and that's a great way to gather or share additional details is through the chat messaging. The client also has the ability to send over pictures and videos in the chat as well. So if you need another picture of the rash, or you're doing a follow-up and you want a picture of the incision site, you can request that in the chat as well. If you wanted to get into a more detailed discussion, you can click the call tab here and just follow the prompts. So you can pick between a phone call or a video call. So I'll pick video call here, and then we'll say we'll do this for today here in just a few minutes, and I'll go ahead and schedule it. So we'll scroll down here at the bottom. We see that the video call has been booked, and it tells them for what time it's at. And so when it comes time for that, they'll just click that join call button. We'll do the same over here. And then once you're both in the chat room, you'll be able to have a virtual consultation. The client can control everything on their phone, so they can flip it around to their selfie camera or to their back camera and turn on the flash if it's dark out, or if you need to see in the pet's ear or mouth. And at the end of the call, we also record the whole thing. And so if you ever need a copy of what was said or shown during that video chat, we can provide that to you as well. Now, the way phone calls work is that on the veterinarian side, it's going to look like a video chat, but without video. And on the client side, it'll seem as a regular phone call. But what we allow you to do is set a caller ID for when you're calling the client. So we're never going to expose your personal number. But what most clinics will do is they'll set that as their front desk number. And so that way when you're calling the client, they're going to be familiar with the area code. Maybe they have the number saved to their phone as well. But more importantly, if they call back, they're just going to get in touch with your front desk. So I'll show you here in a bit where that can be set. Here in the middle is a timeline just kind of showing how the consultation has been progressing. Below that, we have a few input fields. So diagnosis, that's what's sent back to the client, where you can let them know here's what's wrong and here's what you need to do. And then down the notes, you can be, this is just internal notes shared amongst yourself and your colleagues that have access to the system. So it might be a good spot for medical jargon or prescription notes, or a lot of the vets just like to put it how the consultation went in general. So again, that will not be shared with the client. You'll see here that our control panel changed in the top right. So now that it's been open and it's assigned somebody, we can actually close out the consultation. So here you have a couple options for what you want to mark the status as. You can mark it as resolved or canceled. Now, when you do click canceled, we zero out the balance. And so what we'll do is we'll void the transaction, and we won't collect any money from the client at all from the original pre-authorized transaction. However, if you have it marked as resolved, you can actually collect the full amount or even scale it back a little bit. Perhaps it only took a couple minutes for you to resolve this consultation. Well, you can change the pricing for that here. If you started to type some stuff in here in the diagnosis or notes and you didn't want to affect the transaction or status just yet, you can always click save and come back later and close it out. We also have the ability to export this, and so you can download this as a PDF or print it off. And we also have some practice management integrations as well. And so if you use one of the practice management systems that we integrate with, you'll see another button here, for example, that says send to Avamark or eVet or Cornerstone, All those are supported PIM systems that we integrate with. And so when you click that, we'll actually look up the client for you as well as the patient. And if we find a match, we can send that back to your practice management system without having to download and copy and paste anything. We can also still assign a staff member. And so I'm already assigned to it as a veterinarian, but if I want to bring on a nurse to help triage this or gather more details, I can still do that at this point. So what I'll do now is go ahead and provide a diagnosis. So I'm going to say we're going to ship over a prescription. I'll just say we're all good here. And then now I'll go over here to close, and I'm going to go ahead and resolve this for the full amount so you can see what that looks like. So I'm going to click confirm here. Again, the client will be notified about this. It'll let us know that the consultation is resolved. Same on the client side. And then if they scroll down at the bottom here, they're going to see the response from the hospital shipping over a prescription. And we also show them the final fee for the consultation as well. And so if you do adjust that pricing, we'll go ahead and reflect that here so they know how much they are charged in the end. You'll also notice here that the join call button is disabled. And if we go to messages, we can review these, but we just can't send any new ones. So that's kind of our way of shutting down the consultation so that it doesn't continue to drag on for forever. If they have something new, they can always submit a new consultation or request a follow-up appointment. And so the other side of this is creating a follow-up appointment. And so that's typically done. We have a lot of clinics that do that for things like spay or neuters to check up on an incision site, making sure, for example, there's not like a seroma or something similar to that. So to do that, you come up here at the top right, click the follow-up button. This will pull in all your clients and patients that have registered with your practice. And so you can start filtering that down by just typing in their name. If they're not registered, you can actually send them an invite with a follow-up. And so that'll send them an email with a link and explaining how the follow-up works. And that link will automatically register their account for them after it downloads the app. But I'm going to go ahead and use the account we have pulled up already on the right side. So I'll select Jack Smith here. And I'm going to go back to the dashboard here on the client side. And so if they have a single pet, we'll just go ahead and select that pet for you. Otherwise, you can select which pet you want to do the follow-up for. So we'll work with Pepper again. And here we provide the same kind of detail as the client did. So we'll provide a summary. So we're going to say we're going to check in on the rash. And then you can also provide details as well if you'd like, and then pick a date and time. So we'll say we're going to do this for a week from today, and we'll say 12/20 is fine. You can also pick who should be assigned to this follow-up. And so it defaults to whoever's logged in. But if we wanted to assign this to another veterinary technician or nurse or a veterinarian, we can select that person here as well. And then not all follow-ups need to be video calls. And so what you can actually do is pick the type of follow-up you want to do. Perhaps you need a picture of the incision site only. You can say text only. Otherwise, if it's a behavioral thing, you can say phone call only or video call. I'm going to leave it as phone call for this one though. And so here we have the default pricing pulled in. But what you can do is actually adjust this right before you submit the follow-up appointment. So if this is a consultation that you think is going to take a little bit longer, you can actually adjust that price up. Otherwise, what you can do here is go ahead and leave it as a default. We also have some clinics that will charge the client for the follow-up as they're checking out. So for example, if they do a spay or neuter, they know they're always going to do a TeleVet consultation. They'll charge them extra for that while they're in the clinic, and then they'll click this option here to not charge the client. So if you check that box, we just won't ask for payment from the client. However, we do charge the $5 transaction fee over to the clinic at that point to collect the fees on running the consultation. And so I'm going to leave this as charging the client at the default pricing though, so we can see what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and click schedule here. So here we are in the new follow-up consultation page here. Here in the middle, we have a little message just showing us that we're waiting for payment for the follow-up. And so at this point, again, the client will be notified that a follow-up's been scheduled. They can click on that notification, which will take them right into that follow-up. And here we see who booked the follow-up, the fee here associated with it. The credit card again will pull in if it's saved, and all they have to do here is click confirm consultation. And so now it's been activated, and so now we know that the client is paid for it. They can start messaging us and join the video chat if there's one available as well. And at the end of it, it's the same process as we saw with the consultation that we submitted earlier that was submitted by the client. Once you're done and you do the video chat or whatever needs to be done for the follow-up, you can come in here and provide a diagnosis and then go ahead and close it out. So that covers everything with how the consultations flow works within our system. A few things to point out associated with that. Our consultations page here will show you all the active consultations that are assigned either to or that are unassigned, assigned to your staff members, or assigned to yourself that haven't yet been closed. And then all the records will show up here, which those are all the consultations that have been closed. And so if you want to go back and look at something that you've already worked on, you can go back to the records page to see that. Some administration stuff now I'll cover within our app so you can kind of see how everything's set up. Each user will have their own profile. The only thing that will be shown to the client will be your name and your profile picture. Your email address and your phone number, that's just for us to get in touch with you or send you notifications for new things that you need to know about. Here on the clinic page, we have a whole lot more details. So you'll be able to upload your practice logo right here. We also have the pricing controls here, so you can set the price for incoming consultations submitted by clients, as well as the default pricing for fall appointments. We also added this little team feature here. So if you want to be able to have your staff members close consultations on behalf of other staff members, it just helps kind of with the overall workflow of the system. You can check that box there. Otherwise, if you want it to be a little bit more restrictive, you can uncheck it. Here are the operating times. So the response time is what's shown to the client, saying if we don't respond within 4 hours, the client can cancel it if they want to. And so again, that's what's shown after they create the consultation. The time zone is something that we collect automatically when you sign up, but that's for us to send you an itinerary in the morning of all your phone calls and video calls scheduled for that day. And here we have the active hours. So this is what's shown to the client when they're going to create a new consultation. As you can see here, it shows up as responsive hours. One thing to note here is that this doesn't restrict your clients from submitting new consultations outside of these hours. It just sets the expectation for when they'll expect to hear back. So, for example, if they're submitting a consultation at 10 p.m. on Friday, they might not hear back until 12 p.m. on Saturday. Here's a location that you can add as well. So what we'll do is we'll pull your coordinates from this location. You can actually type in your practice name as well. And that's how we show the clients which practices within our system are close by them. And then here's the caller ID that you can set, and this is what's shown to the client when you're calling them through the app. Again, you have the ability to set this. Typically, clinics will set this as their front desk number, and that way when you're calling the clients, they're going to see this number and they're going to be familiar with the area code. Maybe they have that number saved, but if they call back, they're just going to get in touch with your front desk. We also have promo codes over here, and so if you want to give a client a specific discount, you just come up with a code name, set a percentage off, expiration date, and number of uses, and you can provide that to the client. They'll come over here to their account page under promo codes and add that right in. And then those get automatically applied whenever they go to pay for something. Here on the team page is where you can add as many team members as you want. We don't restrict our pricing or anything like that on team members. So the price is set for every single person that you want to add. And so here, if you want to add a new member, just click this plus button, put in their name, email address, and then select a role for them. We'll send them a welcome email along with a temporary password that they can use to log in. After they do log in, we'll ask them to reset their password and update their profile information. And then the different roles that we have right now are admin and veterinarian. So an admin and veterinarian is someone that you'd want to be able to work on consultations, but also manage team members, clinic pricing, promo codes, stuff like that. Whereas a veterinarian, they would be able to work on consultations, but they wouldn't be able to adjust member roles or adjust clinic pricing and stuff like that. And a veterinarian or nurse has the same abilities almost as a veterinarian, where they can start triaging a consultation and then later assign that consultation to a veterinarian. And then here we have a practice manager. So again, their role is going to be similar to how it is in the practice where they're managing stuff, but they're not really working with clients on consultations. And then a receptionist has the ability to book a follow-up appointment on behalf of a veterinarian or a nurse. And so that's a good example for if you have someone that's checking out, and you can just tell the receptionist, hey, let's go ahead and book a follow-up with that client a week from today to check up on the pet's healing progress. They can go ahead and do that for you. And lastly, you can mark someone as inactive as well. So if someone left your practice, you didn't want them to have access to the system anymore, you can always mark them as inactive. So the last bit here is a marketing page. So we created this to just drive awareness to your clients. It's all automated. And so we have 4 different components of it. The first one is the website. So if you want to put something on your website real quick, we have this little badge as an example. It's literally just one line of code. And you can send that to your developer as well. So you give your developer's email address here, a little message about what you're trying to do. We'll CC our team and provide instructions in that email so they can get that added as quick as possible. And then we also have the same thing for an explainer video, which you can check out on our website. And then some clinics like to put a full page about TeleVet on their website. And so we created this boilerplate template here that you can just copy and paste. And again, that's something that you can send to your developer. We also have some Facebook post templates. And so you can actually connect your clinic's Facebook page to our app. Whoever has access to your Facebook page would set that up. But once it is set up, you can come in here, and if you find an image and caption you like, you just click that draft post button, copy and paste our caption or come up with your own, and click publish. And this will push it straight to your Facebook page. There's no need to download the image or open up the page and all that sort of stuff. We also keep track of when the last time you posted was as well. Here in the print shop, you can order reception stands, posters, and rat cards. And these are all at cost right now. You also get a large set of these when you do sign up. And so that's part of the benefits of being a member of the TeleVet service. We can also customize the clinic logo or the clinic rat cards with your clinic logo and name on the front as well. And so that's just one of the added services we do to help promote the service to your clients. And then here we also have email marketing. So if you'd like for us to run an email campaign for you, we can do that. We can get your client list, we'll create a custom email template for your practice, and we'll send it out, and it'll look like it's coming from your practice. And then after it's had time to digest, we'll send you a report letting you know how that email campaign did. And so that's just something we also do complimentary. If you're interested in that, just click that Get Started button right there, and our team will be in touch to get that going. If you'd rather send out your own emails, we have some templates over here that you can check out. And so if you have another email service provider that you typically use to send out emails, you can come see these. And then if you find one you like, just click Send to Me, and then use whatever service you'd like to send those out. The last thing I want to point out while we're in here is the support chat. And so at any point in time, if you ever have questions about how something works in the app, or you want to hear best practices about what other vet clinics are doing, you can come in here and just start a conversation with us. And our team's there throughout the day to provide any support that we can to make sure that your practice is a success with our system. So that about covers it. Thank you for joining me during this demo, and we hope to see you on our platform soon. Have a great day.